Hey guys, this is Chris, otherwise known as Christo, and I've got a bit of an update here. At least in my view, this is a really big deal, and I actually stopped basically everything I was doing to make this podcast because I think this is really, for people that want this bullshit charade to be over, I think this is really good news. So, here goes. And as you must know, I don't give a crap about the news. It's a joke, it's lies. However, you can read between the lines, and also when they make certain statements, they kind of have to follow through with these things. So here's what's going on. As many people know, there has been a lot of people that have started to question this whole I'm not even going to give it any legitimacy by naming what it is, but you know what I'm talking about. It's the bullshit charade pandemic that they've pushed on the populace to try to control us, to really, I think it was to really see what we would put up with. And it seems that they're finding out what we'll put up with, and a lot of people will put up with a lot of shit, like a good chunk of the populace. However, it seems like that tide is turning. And this is evidenced by not only myself and my interactions with other people that I know, but people that I know interacting with people that they know who are looking at this whole thing now. And I mean, these are people that would laugh in your face about any conspiracy. But you see, this one is affecting everybody now. They're all stuck in their homes. They're all out of jobs, no money coming in. The government was talking about sending money out to people, but it's a band-aid. It's nothing. It's a joke. You drive around, it's a ghost town everywhere. You got some people out, but you've got to wear your masks, and it depends on where you're from and the attitude. It really depends on the fear level, which, by the way, this will be another podcast, but my criteria for who I'd want to be around, especially during something like this, has totally changed. And this is how we learn. And we only learn when things happen and we get uncomfortable. And when we get uncomfortable, we show our true colors. The real us comes out. And I've seen a lot of disappointing things, quite honestly, but I'm not going to focus on that right now, because this, to me, this is great, great news. So, without any further ado, story just came out today, about 17 hours ago, from the Montreal Gazette. My friend lives in Montreal, and she told me that she notified me as soon as she saw this, because we've been definitely talking about this here for a while, and how ridiculous it is. And anyways, here's the headline. Coronavirus, which is everywhere. Legal, I might be saying it wrong. Legal says schools might reopen earlier than May 4th. Okay. Interesting. Even if they said May 4th at this point, I'd be thinking, hell yeah. Nice. Good news. Just so you guys know, I tend to throw F-bombs sometimes. I'm not going to include them in this podcast, so it's safe to play in front of your kids and everything else. If you want to play it out loud. So here goes. Here's the story. Quebec Premier Francois Legault said Friday he doesn't discount the possibility of reopening schools and daycares earlier than the original May 4 target. Nothing is decided, but we will follow the results daily, Legault said at his daily news conference in Quebec City. We are looking at different scenarios. Once the schools and daycares are opened, we will be able to restart the economy. Okay. Legault stressed it will likely be several more days or even weeks before a decision can be made on reopening schools and daycares. I think it's going to be closer to the several more days, but before reopening schools and daycares, but it looks promising. We've had 4 or 5 good days of results, and we will see if it continues and then take the best decision for the public. I almost can't even read that. I can't stand that kind of talk. I'm going to go back on this story and comment on some things if you want to hear it, but I'll just get through the story here for people that just want to hear the story and want me to shut up. Public Health Director Horacio Arruda said not only is it possible to bring schools back before the end of the school year, but it could help prevent a more dramatic outbreak in the future. We know that young kids don't get very sick when they are infected with the virus, he said. So the more that they are immunized naturally, the less they will become active vectors for elderly people. Legault said if children do go back to school this spring, it will likely be with some distancing measures still in place. We know that children are less at risk, but when we do eventually reopen the schools and daycares, we will have to make sure that children don't go anywhere near their grandparents. Legault concluded his opening remarks at his daily news conference with a message of hope for Quebecers as they head into the Easter weekend. When we Quebecers unite, there is nothing that can stop us, he said. We know that when it's minus 30 degrees in January or it snows in April, as it did yesterday, that good times will come. We know that spring will eventually come. That's what I want to tell Quebecers. Hope is alive. Good days are coming. Despite the positive message, the situation is still dire in many Quebec senior homes and public long-term health care. Bullshit. Legault said transfers toward those centers have officially stopped as of Friday. However, many patients appeared to have been transferred in the last few weeks. Legault defended the practice, saying it helped free up space in hospitals to deal with the crisis. Yeah, like they need the space. We have stopped doing this because we have freed up 8,000 beds, so it's no longer necessary to transfer patients to those centers, Legault said. The hospital is empty. They have 8,000 beds open. Arruda added, if those patients had stayed in hospitals, it's possible they could have contracted the virus, so it made sense to transfer them. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm not going to read all this shit. You guys can read it. I'm putting the link up on the site, ourhighestpotential.com, ourhighestpotential.com. That's where the link will be. Health Minister Danielle McCann said the centers are going to be getting more resources and more healthcare personnel. Okay, blah, 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 because everything they say is mostly lies. But later in the day, the province asked all organizers of festivals and sporting events to cancel their activities through August 31st. The government said there will be a need to engage in physical distancing for an extended period, even if schools could return by May. Okay, so I'm not even going to read the rest of this douchebag's letters. And if I mispronounce his name, I don't really care, because who cares? These guys are clowns, puppets. So anyways, so here's what's going on, guys. Their charade is ending. People were already questioning this whole thing. People that are totally asleep with everything else are actually waking up to this because it has affected them personally. And that's what it took. So the government has, for many, they have ruined their reputation forever. Because once people realized this wasn't a big deal and they just lost their job or they just lost however much income or deals or whatever they were doing, this is always going to be in the back of their memory. So they got desperate. The powers that were, and they are the powers that were, because they are desperate to hang on to that power right now. So they went and made a move worldwide to lock everybody down with a fake pandemic that you fell for. Many of you, even listening to this, fell for this when it came out. I'm not saying this to try to shame you, but little shame kind of makes changes in your life, just like it has in mine. I'm ashamed of many things in my life, fear that I've had, and stupidity and anger, all of it. But basically, they pulled this move because people were not trusting the government anymore. We had the Pizzagate thing coming out. They were pushing their vaccines hard. More and more people were waking up because of that. And they just had to do something to kind of show people, hey, don't forget who owns you. You know, in a subtle way. because you're going to listen and obey when they tell their little watchdogs and the guys with guns to enforce their laws that they're putting into place, their illegitimate laws into place to try to control people. So anyways, this is what happened. They made their move, and this is the crack in the dam, my friends. This story, there might be more out there right now, but this is the crack in the dam. People, I noticed just in the last week or less that people were really starting to question this. Like, there's more mocking of it going on. I saw less face masks in a lot of places, but in some places I saw more. So I don't know, it's kind of a mixed bag. But I did check out this YouTube video that I had posted the other day, and the video was talking about staying at home, and they had these C-level actors that nobody knows telling people they should stay at home. And oh my God, I couldn't listen to the video, but I scrolled immediately to the comments, because that's where you find out what's really going on. It's not the YouTube video, it's the comments that are the best. And oh my God, this video, 11 million views, it had 100,000 likes and dislikes, and roughly. And of that 100,000, roughly 40,000 were thumbs up, and I'd say thumbs up their butts. And it had like 60% or 60,000 likes. Or I'm sorry, dislikes. It had 40,000 likes, 60,000 dislikes. So that's 6 out of 10 people that took the time to click with their little mouse and move their little finger and vote. 6 out of 10 were saying, no, not going to do that. Not going to stay at home. So tide's turning, guys. It's over. This thing is over. And what this should do for most people is provide quite the wake-up call as to what the government can, and I say the government, it's the people above them. They're just a bunch of puppets. But what they can do to stir up a mostly ignorant public and cause chaos in your own life in many ways. So this is a wake-up call to change, and the very foundation of change, and it's why I've been harping on it not my whole life, but gosh, since I was in my 20s. I'm 51 now, and I'm telling you, the biggest thing is your health. Your body is the thing that you are in. It affects your mind, your mental state, your spiritual connection. It affects everything. It's time to clean that thing up. Time to clean it up. And not to plug my own, what I do, but I coach people for this kind of stuff. And I know exactly what to do. I've been everywhere when it comes to health. I've tried everything when it comes to health. And I'm not just talking weight loss. I'm talking total change of your life. Like an amazing change of your life. So anyways, just throwing that out there. But you guys, it's over, man. It's over for these guys. Because once these kids go back to school, then what happens? There's adults around the kids, right? Because the kids aren't going to teach themselves, which that is how it should work, okay? I don't care. The schooling model is garbage. It should be unschooling, but that's even another podcast. But basically, these kids are going to be around adults, and the adults are what? They're all immune too. So, jeez, if they're immune, the parent at home that's not making any money because they can't work at their restaurant job or whatever public, non-essential, they call it. The non-essential people, we're all essential, guys. We're more than essential. We're more than what they tell us we are. But all the non-essential people that are stuck at home making no money, how long do you think they're going to sit at home while their kids are going to school, in contact with adults, not getting sick? It's already, more people are out in public now. More people are not obeying the stupid social distancing rule, this idiotic social distancing rule. It's over for these guys, and I'm loving it right now. This is one of the best times, actually, of my life to watch this happen, because this needed to happen. This was the smack in the face that most of us needed, including me, needed this to just show us what we need to be, and we need to be independent, guys. But this is happening. It's over. Mark my words, it's freaking over. There's nothing they can do now. And the only reason this idiot in Canada is saying, let's put the kids back in school, is because they had a lot of people pissed off. And these guys, they don't want it. It's a little kind of a more tight-knit French community, I think, in Quebec. And they didn't want to see the pitchforks and torches when people start really running out of money and running out of food and, you know, things like that. They don't want to see that. So, yeah, okay, yeah, we'll let the kids back in school. Well, that's the crack in the dam, guys. Mark my words. It's over. It's about to be an avalanche, and it's going to spread everywhere around the world. So watch for it. It's over. Manifest it. We are in charge. We create this reality, not these fake imposters. We do. Don't forget it. Take care, everybody.